He walked through the crowded streets, the noise of the city pressing on him like a heavy fog, each honk, each shout, each hurried step a reminder that his life was spiraling beyond his control. His heart was a drum of frustration, pounding in rhythms of regret and disappointment. He had tried everything: advice from friends, self-help books stacked high on his shelves, affirmations repeated with the hope that repetition alone could summon change. Yet, despite all his efforts, he felt the same emptiness gnawing at him. One day, desperate and on the verge of surrendering to the weight of his own mind, he asked a monk the simplest question a human being can ever ask: "How do I fix my life?" The monk looked at him with eyes that seemed to peer into the very corners of his soul, and then he smiled, not with amusement, but with recognition, as if he had been waiting for this question all along. "You don't fix your life," the monk said softly. "Your mind is lying to you." Confusion painted the man's face, and a tension formed in the air, thick like the smoke rising from incense in a quiet temple. How could his mind, his most trusted companion, be a liar? How could the instrument that guided him, warned him, and defined him be deceitful? The monk leaned back, the folds of his robes falling like a waterfall, and began to unravel a truth that would feel radical, uncomfortable, yet liberating. "Your mind," the monk whispered, "is addicted to stories. Stories of who you were, stories of who you should be, stories of what you fear. And in those stories it distorts reality. It takes the raw, unshaped present and molds it into a nightmare of its own design." He paused, letting the words sink like stones into a pond, watching ripples of realization spread in the man's eyes. Every thought that tells you you are not enough. Every worry that convinces you the world is against you. Every memory that poisons your perception. These are lies told by the storyteller in your head. And the trick, the cruel brilliance of it, is that your mind does it so convincingly, so rhythmically, that you believe it is the absolute truth. The man's chest tightened. He had believed in those lies. He had let them direct his steps, shape his decisions, and define his worth. And yet, in that simple statement, there was a spark of freedom. The monk continued, his voice steady, like a river flowing through a canyon. "Imagine a mirror covered in dust. Every day you glance into it, you see only smudges, fingerprints, shadows that are not yours. You clean it, you polish it, and suddenly the reflection is clear. But most people never wipe the mirror. They blame the reflection itself for being distorted. This is what happens when you accept the narratives of your mind as reality. You fight with illusions, not truth." A breeze moved through the courtyard where they sat, carrying the scent of jasmine and old stone, and the man felt as though the air itself had shifted. The monk's words weren't just intellectual. They touched something ancient and primal. "You see," the monk said, "your mind is a tool, not a master. It is like fire. Fire can warm your home, or it can burn it down. It can cook your food, or it can consume the forest. The difference lies not in the fire, but in how you relate to it. Right now, you have allowed your mind to dominate you, to feed on fears and regrets, to construct prisons from thought alone. To fix your life, you do not fix the world. You do not fix your circumstances. You fix the way you engage with your mind." The man's mind spun, the concepts swirling like leaves in a storm. Fix the way he engaged with his mind? What did that even mean? The monk, reading the confusion like a map, continued. "Observe it, witness it, question it. When a thought arises, 'I am not worthy,' do not accept it. Ask, 'Is this true? Or is this just a voice that has convinced me it knows me better than I know myself?' The moment you create space between yourself and the thought, the mind loses its grip. It can still whisper, it can still plead and panic, but its power diminishes. You are not the story your mind tells you. You are the awareness that watches the story unfold. A bird landed nearby, its wings unfolding like delicate paper fans. The man's breath caught as he realized the simplicity of the illustration. The monk's words weren't abstract. They were alive, tangible, like the bird flitting freely between branches. Most people live in their minds as though they were locked inside a house without doors. They complain about the walls, the ceiling, the darkness, but they never notice that they can open a window or step outside entirely. The key, the monk said, leaning closer, is awareness. Awareness does not judge. Awareness does not cling. Awareness simply observes. When you cultivate this awareness, thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky. Some clouds are dark and stormy, others light and playful, but the sky itself remains untouched, vast, infinite. The man felt a flicker of something he had not felt in years. Hope. But there was also fear. Could he truly separate himself from the voice in his head that had been constant, relentless, demanding for decades? The monk smiled as if anticipating the question. "It is not easy," he admitted. "Your mind is cunning. It will resist, it will seduce you into old patterns, it will scream that nothing has changed. But you must practice. Every moment of observation is a victory. Every thought noticed is a step toward freedom. Think of it as training a wild horse. At first it bucks, it resists, it fears the rain. But with patience, consistency, and gentle presence, the horse learns to run alongside you without fear or force. The mind, too, can learn." He leaned back and let silence hang between them. The man breathed deeply, feeling the weight of the truth, the heaviness of responsibility, but also the exhilaration of possibility. "And here is the final point," the monk said. "Do not chase happiness, do not chase success, do not chase perfection. These are illusions spun by the mind to keep you restless. Instead, anchor yourself in presence. Anchor yourself in the simplicity of seeing things as they are, without judgment. The mind will lie, the world will challenge you, but your awareness is a refuge no storm can touch. This is how lives are fixed, not by changing circumstances, but by transforming perception." The man sat quietly, absorbing the magnitude of the lesson. He realized for the first time that all the effort, all the struggle had been misdirected. Life had not been broken. He had simply been lost in the illusions created by his own mind. He had been arguing with shadows, fighting phantoms, while the real world, vibrant and immense, had been waiting for him to wake up. The monk continued, "Here is a practice. Begin each day not with to-do lists or worries about what might go wrong. Begin by sitting in stillness. Watch your thoughts rise and fall. Notice without judgment. Ask, is this thought serving me, or am I trapped by its narrative?" Over time, the habit transforms from effort into instinct. You begin to see the world not through fear or expectation, but with clarity. Decisions become easier, emotions lighter, and the chaos of life, while still present, no longer controls you. He smiled again, this time not as a teacher to a student, but as one human being to another. "The mind is like a river," he said. "If you try to stop it, it overflows. If you chase it, it pulls you under. But if you stand on the riverbank, watch it, and move with it instead of against it, you find peace and power beyond what you imagined." The man closed his eyes. The noise of the city, the frustrations, the endless loops of regret felt distant. He began to see the truth in the monk's words. Life was not something to be fixed. It was something to be observed, experienced, and understood. The illusions of his mind could no longer dictate the rhythm of his days. They were clouds in the sky, not the sky itself. Days passed, and the man practiced what the monk had taught. At first, it was awkward, difficult, like learning to walk on uneven ground. Old fears whispered insistently. Doubts clawed at the edges of his mind, but gradually something shifted. He began to notice the space between thoughts, the stillness beneath the chatter, the clarity behind the fog. Decisions he had once agonized over came naturally. Moments of joy, previously fleeting and rare, now felt deep and abiding. He began to understand that the monk's brilliance was not a secret or a shortcut, but a profound redirection. Life is not fixed by fixing it. Life is fixed by seeing it. Life is transformed when the storyteller in your head is recognized for what it is: a liar, a manipulator, a performer in the theater of your perception. Awareness is the spotlight that exposes the act. Freedom is the applause that follows. One evening, he returned to the monk, gratitude radiating from him like sunlight breaking through clouds. "I think I understand," he said. "I am not my thoughts. I am the awareness that watches them, and in that awareness I am free." The monk nodded. "Yes," he said. "And now you live not in reaction, but in presence. Not in fear, but in clarity. The mind is still a storyteller, but you are now the reader who holds the book, who can turn the pages without being lost in the plot." And so the man left, carrying within him a lesson that would echo throughout the rest of his life. The mind is a liar, but awareness is the truth. Life is not broken. The illusions of thought are, and in seeing them, we are free. So I ask you now, as you watch this, to consider your own mind. What stories has it told you today? What truths has it twisted into lies? And what if, just for a moment, you stepped back, observed, and realized that you are not bound by these narratives? That the weight you carry, the anxiety, the fear, the self-doubt, it is not your reality. It is a creation of thought, nothing more. Begin today with a single practice. Notice one thought. Watch it. Question it. Allow it to pass. And in that simple act, the first stone is laid for a life no longer controlled by the illusions of the mind. Your mind has been lying to you, yes, but you now have the power to see the truth. Stand on the riverbank, watch the current, and remember, the sky is always there, beyond the clouds. Thank you for joining this journey today. If this message resonated with you, if the truth of awareness stirred something inside, I invite you to like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Echoes of Greatness for more lessons that inspire, provoke, and illuminate the path to a life of clarity and power. Comment below. What is one lie your mind tells you every day? And how will you begin to see it for what it truly is? Your insight might inspire someone else to awaken. Together, let's step into awareness and live not in the stories of the mind, but in the truth that surrounds us, waiting to be noticed.